I hope I didn't just crash the YouTube app. Did I? Hold on. Sorry, things are a little bit whack at the moment. Okay, so I switched the latency around. There we go. So yeah, I don't know what exactly it is I'm gonna do at the moment. I'm kind of just here. Um, like I was saying earlier, uh, things have kind of happened. That's the easiest way I can explain it. It's just things happened. Um, how can I explain this without sounding mentally drained? Which I am, but like this is how like impromptu this stream is. I don't even have like a game preloaded. I'm just like sitting here like what do I do at the moment? Uh I mean, hmm. No? Yeah, maybe. I might. Uh so the thing is if I do like any like game that requires me to actually like think, then that'll like put my attention off. But um, you know what? Let's stream some Crossworlds. Why not? So yeah, let me make the sound a lot quieter. That way, I don't get blasted by uh, sonic noises. Let's see. Does that work? It does work. I'm actually going to let's turn off that. Actually, let me go into the settings. All right, there we go. I would have the music a little louder, but I don't know how the music is going to be for Crossworlds at the moment, so I'm just kind of here. Yeah. I'm gonna do some online and then, but yeah. But yeah, I don't think there's any events going on over the weekend. At least I'm not seeing anything about it. It would start in less than 12 hours if it was gonna be a thing. Like 11 hours from now, but like... But yeah. We got Miku with a pink board instead of her usual blue. Ooh. Let's do this. Yeah, Crossworlds runs really well. Like, but yeah, so basically, where the heck have I been? Everywhere but streaming. I made a video. I meant to start streaming like a month ago, but then I got ninth. But a lot of things just kind of happened. But yeah. I won't be paying attention to chat. I can get it at least. Darn. Like a song. Let's give that to someone. Oh, I just used that defensively. I was like, where'd it go? I used it defensively. I'm used to being in power vehicles. This is a minecart, or not my power handling. The minecart's slightly better handling. You know, I never realized like how little the stats actually affected everything. Like, speed only gets you like an extra few miles an hour, or extra few speed. Acceleration doesn't really do much anything. Boost doesn't necessarily do a lot. Ow, I got flattened. Like, it does a lot for the extreme gears, but that's because they operate differently from everything else. Ow, I can't do like my flip boosts, people. There we go. That's what I'm saying about like talking and playing again. That requires a lot of stuff. I actually haven't played in a few days. It's been at least 3 days since I played Crossworlds. Probably 3.5. I didn't play at all since the end of the Minecraft event. But yeah. There we go, got the double item. There we go. I think I did okay.
Nice.
Yeah, 6th place. There we go.
Nice.
Oh, that actually did me pretty well. There we go. Ooh. Let's do this. Okay, no, let's bring it back up. I forget that the stream mix is different from the game mix. But yeah, let me make sure that this is actually more audible. There we go. All right. There's a bit of an issue with that. Get some boost off of that. Go onto this side, because then I go up onto this little thing right here. I did not get the item. Oh, I failed. I somehow still failed that. All right, cool. Thank you, game, for doing that. All right, laser wisp time. I am so far behind the lead. All right, me over here. Ooh, drill wisp. In 9th place. That was not a very good drill wisp. Like, yeah, I gained a couple positions, but like... it didn't last very long. I've had better drill wisps in 2nd place. Okay, I didn't want that item anyway. Ooh, oh, ow. Why? We'll find one of you all gets magnet. Oh! Ooh. No! I turned! I was turning! And I didn't have my hand on the accelerator. Why did this go straight? Alright. Oh, I still need to explain why the heck I've been gone the past couple of, months. So, long story short... There we go. So, long story short, I had a family member who had a stroke and was in the hospital for a while. 6th place again, nice. But yeah, they were in the hospital for a bit, a couple weeks in fact, and it was interesting for our family, but we've been it's been better than how these types of things usually go. They've been recovering pretty well, and I've been helping with what I can, at least. Obviously, me being visually impaired and being awake at the wrong end of the day, it creates some difficulties, but I am able to be up during nighttime, and I'm usually up when most everyone else is asleep, so it kind of evens out. Which is nice. I love that the minecarts have just become like the sticker box. I mean, it's just a flat canvas, so of course. I'm at the bottom half. Ooh. Look at me spawning in 5th. I'm almost like always in the back row because of how good my computer is. Like, look at these Switch players. Ooh. Yeah, we're waiting for the Switch players to load in. Goodness. Oh, my mouse cursor is visible, even though I'm using a controller. I'm just gonna put that there. Game? Is this gonna be one of those situations where the game never starts? Or like it starts like 5 minutes from now? This is a problem, and the problem isn't crossworlds, it's Xbox Ones, PlayStation 4s, Nintendo Switch ones, and shitty PCs. There it goes, finally. Ooh. I was like, I want to play Metal Harbor. Give me Metal Harbor. Re. I think it's so funny how I'm technically a newer Sonic fan. Like, I didn't really do much actually like playing through Sonic games until like just a year or two ago when I got Sonic Origins. Yes, Sonic Origins. Fight me in the comments. There's like no off-road sections on this track. Omo Chow is practically useless. Ooh. Let me just focus on snaking. Oh, there's a drill behind. Ooh. How did I survive that? Oh, I just got clobbered and sent off track because of it. Is this a Lost World level? Or is it like Forces? I can't tell. Not. Ooh. No! I don't have any items. I am struggling. Why? I am in 12. At least it like disappeared quickly. Wisp. You're gonna put me here? Why? Okay, never mind. There it goes. And the dogs are barking. Nice. No! I just drifted off the track with a monster truck. Yeah, that's how I feel. Oh, 10th. I thought it was 11th. Okay. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, yeah, we've been helping my grandmother with her stroke for a while now. Um, I won't go into detail about it because that's personal information, and does not need to be on the internet. But it's a lot less detrimental than what a lot of strokes usually end up being. Market Street. We'll do Market Street. But when it comes to like overall living and stuff, she is recovering a lot better than initial expectations, which is good, especially for somebody who is 74 years old now. But yeah, she's less crazy at the moment, which is it's something. That is one part of her memory that I guess yeah. Ouch. It's funny, you can tell where like the Xbox Switch players are. Oh, I forgot it's this map. Oh, I hate this map. This is my least favorite map in the entire game. Like this and like, yeah, this map is definitely not conducive for freaking drifting. Like, this map is built for, like, freaking handling players. Like, people who do handling. Like, I bet you, who's that number one player? I forget what her name is. They used to do Splatoon a lot. So, like, the current, like, number one Crossworlds player used to be, like, a Splatoon YouTuber. Like, I kid you not. That is, like, that is lore. Like, they used to do, like, Splatoon hide-and-seek stuff. Like, the original Splatoon, not Splatoon 2, just regular Splatoon 1. Like, that is lore. That the number one player is on at Crossworlds. Ah, what's her name? Why? No! Why did I do the flips? No! No. After the ghosts. What hit me? Oh my goodness, I just hit 3 people with that. Why am I so bad on this track? Alright, oh, never mind. I don't even get near the finish. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't like this freaking map. Somebody's brand new to the game with 0 points. Goodness. Like, why am I so bad on that track? like I'll have to like play through that track a lot in single player. I just like Pumpkin Mansion is by far my least favorite world, or this least favorite track in Cross Worlds.
Hello. Farewell.
What's my least favorite Cross World in Cross Worlds?
Do it.
I feel like my least favorite Cross World has to be that one like Sonic level from, or not Sonic level, that one like that one Lost World level, or that one second place. What? Oh, I forgot. That's not. Ugh. Why? Yay! I love falling. Ah. Oh boy, do I love white space. Roulette Road. We got that last game. Oh, I avoid everyone. No! I wanted to drill someone. Oh my goodness, everyone's here. Ah. So I don't like random obstacles in the middle of the freaking track. Roulette Road's cool. Like, it's been here for all the Sonic games. Like, it's been here since Sega and Sonic All-Stars Racing. And now we're in pink space. Aha, I took the double in the box. Oh, it's the laser. What's the triple boost? You know what? I'll take the flying section over the... Ooh. Oh. What the f... Why? Yeah, aw is right. 10th place again.
Nice.
Darn. I think it's because I'm like, I've been up for a while, and I'm gonna have to run some errands after the stream anyways. But yeah, so basically that was August. September, I would have started up doing streaming again. It's just I don't like any of these maps. I'll go with this one.
Do it. Hello.
That's a neat car for that silver. Right next to Blaze. Werehog at a minecart. I missed a chance to pre-order the game. Just like, I just didn't have... Okay, it's just putting me in last place now. But last is first, baby. Woo! I love how it does reverse order. I think they did make it to where when you're playing in like regular world matches, it does it based on, oh, perfect boost too. Nice. Ah, I'm tired, so I'm like not doing what I'm supposed to. Woo! Oh, really? I was trying to dodge it. No! Just hearing the freaking bomb noises on the left. Okay, like, how do you optimally use the laser wisp? Because all it does is just move you forward in a fancy way. Oh, hey, look, Galactic Parade. Oh, and it's Frenzy Parade. Awesome. And I missed that. Ah, hi. I did not expect to get the monster truck. Ugh. Goodness gracious. Oh. That was not what I was supposed to be doing. Ow. No! I flew off the side of the thing because I couldn't see shit. It was nighttime in the map. Okay. Oh, there's a monster truck. There's a monster truck. No, I've been slimed. But I didn't get my item removed. Woo! Okay, that was a strong finish, but a terrible race. A lot of people hated this map because the way the water thing works. I'll take 8th place.
Nice.
Ooh. Are you kidding me? I need 7 more points. But yeah. I think just my lack of eyesight is my main problem in this game. That and my lack of inexperience with kart racers. Like, let's face it, I'm not good at this game, but I'm not terrible. Ooh, I like that gold cart. I noticed that a lot of people, when they use extreme gear, they use the Miku gear. Like, they use the Miku board. The Diva Machina is what it's called. I think Miku's board looks really nice. Okay, good. That Jet is on an extreme gear. I was about to be like, they put Jet in a car. That is like, putting any of the Babylon rogues in a car is like, that is like crazy. Alright, so the Dompa Factory is pretty interesting. So you see this little like gray, okay, so you see this like gray area. So the reason why I'm like trying to stick onto that is not for this lap, but practice for the third lap. Because on the third lap, that becomes like a faster tile. No, don't get on the grass, you dingus. I don't know, what's up with all the frenzies? What frenzy is it? Oh, it's Drift Frenzy. Ooh. Ow. No, there's a monster truck. There's a monster truck. Thank you for giving me items. I think it's funny how that's supposed to be like an attack item, but it just gives you stuff. Like, it's more helpful than harmful. Like, unless somebody has, like, a drill and a monster truck. Oh, speaking of monster trucks. Alright. No! And I've been slimed. No, not the Nickelodeon slime. See you next time. Omochao is back for less action. Bye, Jet.
Nice.
Freaking Omega just waving at me. Oh, there was another Jet?
Nice.
Sorry for that. Market Street. Let's do Market Street. Because Market Street is good. I like Market Street. Yay!
Hey guys.
Hello, everyone.
I really like the fact that there are so many Mikus just around. Is that a Jet in the car? Or did they just say? Like, canonically speaking, oh, I did not get with the map I wanted. Like, putting Jet in a car is like you can put Miku in a car, but not Jet. or Storm, or Wave. You could probably put Storm in a car. The two Mikus. But like Jet and Wave. Definitely are not car material. Oh, really? Really? Why me? Let's get past the Tetris blocks. Okay, whatever crossfold it is, I really like this little area. Ooh, Holoska. That's gonna be great for my drill. What? Did you... Did it replace my fucking drill? I did not gain anything from that drill. The game lied to me. Oh. Okay. Oh, okay, just got stopped in my tracks. Cool.
Finish!
Oh.
Ow!
Yeah, the freaking crusher got me. But I ranked up. Oh, cool. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to take a little bit of time to sort of, like, get, everything straightened out and, sort of get my, feelings and everything just over the past couple of months and just sort of, in general, like, what happened, what's happening, what's going to happen, because that is definitely something that I think that I should like go over, especially like the what's going to happen, because that is a big thing, and obviously that's going to be like the future of my channel on YouTube and maybe on other streaming platforms, who knows. So I planned on doing full-time streams, and full-time being like 3 to 4 hour streams, like maybe like 4 hour streams at least 5 days a week. And that would have been like a 20-hour stream week, right? A 20-hour work week when it comes to streaming. Now, for me, um, over the course of 4 weeks, that's like 80 hours. So I probably would have done a bit more. It really, really depends on a lot of factors. Um, but I don't know. I really don't know, because there's so many things that like I'm having trouble getting the words across. Just one, because I'm super freaking tired, but also there's just something that has been nagging at me, right, for a few weeks now, and that's mostly just because I haven't streamed in a few weeks and I felt like crap because, like, I just kind of like left my channel alone for 2 months without any explanation. And originally I thought that I could stream in August, like while everything was going on, but I had to keep a better eye on the dogs because since I was the only one that was awake during the nighttime, I had to let the dogs out, more specifically the older dog, every 2 to 2.5 hours. And when you let because the one dog she's getting more and more problems with her age, but I mean, she's like 10 years old now. I think she's actually 2.5, but a point still stands. Like, it's just a lot of okay. Sorry, I was just looking at something. But yeah, and then later on in August, I was like, oh, cool. So they're home now. I probably don't have to focus on the dogs as much. But once once September hit around, I was just like, all right, cool. You know, I could take better care of myself. I don't have to like do all that around. But then I started walking around. My sleep schedule just kind of got really, really discombobulated in September. And it still kind of is at this point. I probably should be sleeping from like 4 in the morning or like 4:35-ish to like midday. Like, I should probably be like sleeping from like, let's say like 5 o'clock to 1 p.m. maybe. But at the moment, my sleep schedule is very all over the place. But yeah, I think the big thing with me will just have to be whatever else I can sort of do at the moment. Especially with just everything else that I'm like thinking of at the moment, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on in my personal life, which it's not like terrible. All of it's actually pretty great, but it is taking time away from like it is taking free time away from me, and because streaming is a hobby that I do alongside gaming and just general like messing around with my friends, I feel like that okay, never mind. But I feel like there is like a big disconnect between like how I've been operating in the past and how I operate now. I think that like nowadays things are just a little bit more different compared to how they used to be. And I don't know whether that's like just me being myself or if that's like me changing as I am getting older. Um, I think one of the big things, I'm gonna put my headset on the charger, so I'm not gonna be able to hear myself, which might actually be a better thing, especially for these talking streams. But at the moment, things are kind of just wild, right? Like, there's obviously like various things that are going on in my personal life that I'm not going to go into detail about, just because like most of that is just like crap that doesn't need to be shared online, basically. And like I said earlier, I think, yeah, I did. But like I said earlier, it's not terrible. It's not like bad things that are happening, but it is like a lot of stuff that is taking free time away from me, and that free time is like the time I use for streaming, the time I use for playing games with my friends, and as much as I would like to sort of just continue doing whatever, I do have to, I do have to take care of everything in real life first that affects like my physical surroundings. As much as I would love to just ignore a lot of that stuff and let the people around me do their usual thing of trying to do things for me as someone who's visually impaired, I really don't like that, except for like driving places because I literally can't. But like, except for like getting to and from somewhere that's more than like a mile away, I genuinely prefer to do stuff on my own. That's why, okay, especially like over the past few months, I have been making a big effort to do a lot more walking. Like, I know this is probably not a really good example, but sometimes a couple days a week I will walk over to McDonald's. I have they're a friend of mine, but it's like we've basically kind of just known each other for a very long time now at this point. But they work there in the early mornings. That was technically late night, early morning shift. They work from like 10 to I think 6 a.m. almost days. But so they're there when breakfast starts up. Now, I love McDonald's breakfast. So I'll go there and I'll get breakfast occasionally. But because I go there in the very early morning at like, 4 in the morning, then that means that I will have to go walking around town at 3:30 to 4:30 in the morning, which me personally I don't mind doing. It's better for my vision because I'm more sensitive to light than most. I have all my screens dimmed to like less than half the brightness of what their peak brightness is, or what their like usual brightness is. I have set to 25%. By default, most TVs and monitors are set to 50%, whatever screen brightness they'll have set. So like, for example, like a TV monitor, like its max brightness, whatever that's max brightness, that's 100%. They will set themselves to 50% out of the box. So from the factory, they're at 50%. My monitors, well, my main monitor is set for 25%, and then my other monitor is set to match my first monitor's like brightness and contrast and stuff. That way, they're similar, and they're two very different monitors. One's like a AOC 32-inch monitor. It's a curved. I love this monitor. I've had it for over a year now. The other one is a I think it's a Dell. It's either Dell or HP. It's something monitor. It's a 24-inch that I just have on my side. And it's a few years before the other one. So, both very different. Like I think displays. I think the main monitor is like an IPS panel, and then this one I think is a it might be a TN panel. It could also be an IPS. I don't know. I don't know my panel types. I'm not a huge display nerd, but this one I got, you know, a 32-inch 1440p display. I just did something. Oh well. But when it comes to like both this and the other monitor, I used to have a third monitor, but my cat knocked it over a while ago actually, and I've had two monitors for almost half a year now, and I miss my third monitor, but at the same time, I would probably replace those two monitors anyways. Because my plan is to get 3 of this monitor, but they're fairly expensive and I'll have to save up for those. But yeah, my local McDonald's, it's about, you know, it's a little less than a mile away from me. I'm not going to say exact distance just because. But, you know, I can easily walk to it from my house. It's about a 15-minute walk. You know, from my house. I just have to go down the street a ways, and then, you know, you come back. I usually eat there and come back unless my mom wants something to eat, and I'll get food for the both of us, and then come home once I get the food. But, yeah, but, you know, I usually get somewhere in the range of 4,000 steps, which is the vast majority of the steps that I'll do for the day, because I have a thing on my phone that tells me to get 5,000 steps a day. It's 5,000 steps a day. I think it's 200 calories that it says I have to burn, but the way it calculates that is weird. And then I have to have 40 active minutes of like actively moving around and stuff. Which is basically the phone detects me like walking around or doing whatever. And how it detects that can be weird sometimes, but usually if I walk to McDonald's and back, that usually covers all 40 minutes and usually covers the vast majority of my steps and calories, which is perfectly fine. And the goals I have set are like basically like they're targets for if I feel like doing extra walking that day. But I won't go to McDonald's every day of the week because, I mean, two breakfast sandwiches and a fry, or not a fry, and a drink is like $7.25. I mean, you times that by 21, and that is, or 28, and that's like a fairly tall order, or like 30, right? Times it by 30. Well, 7, 14, 21.75. So that's $217.50. I don't have that kind of money to spend on breakfast every single month. Um, so I only go there a few days a week. Um, Usually 3 days out of the week, sometimes more. It just depends on like what I am feeling. Um, Other days I will usually just eat something at home. Usually it's like a couple deals of whatever I have to eat at home. Um, but yeah, I used to make an effort to go walking every single day. Um, but um, I started having muscle cramps from that, so I decided to kind of basically just have like a active day, a less active day, less active day. And then Sundays are usually my lazy days anyways, so and that usually just kind of sort of mellows out. Now I'm doing pretty well. I'm not overexerting myself. I'm not underexerting myself. That's a big thing is underexertion because everyone knows what overexertion feels like. Underexertion is something you don't feel unless you're actually exerting yourself. Um, and so that balance is definitely something that people have to learn over time. And everyone's different, right? Um, but as somebody who is visually impaired and who doesn't have a full-time job or doesn't spend their time out and about for the most part. I mean, I'm literally sitting at home playing a video game. Uh, there is just various things that I just am not doing that the vast majority of society is doing, and that is like my thing. So I at least try to make sure that I am somewhat active. That way, I'm not just getting lazier and lazier and lazier. And I'm not lazy. Like I'm not like I wouldn't be defined as lazy, but I do feel lazy, and that is like one thing, especially earlier this year after I got my new cane. Like that is something that I wanted to work on because everyone was like, "But you're like, you're in your early 20s. You're pretty thin even for someone of your stature." And I'm like, "Yes, but I want to remain that way. I don't want to become lazy over time and then all of a sudden I have gained 50 pounds because my metabolism is slowing down and I'm still eating very unhealthy food, which is just food in general here in the States. Um, and I don't want to lose, like, I want to remain relatively thin. I wouldn't call myself skinny at the moment because I'm not. I do have a little bit of weight to me, but I'm not fat. I'm not. You know, I wouldn't be considered obese unless you plugged me into like a BMI chart without an extra additional information. But I have a lot of muscle on me as well, which skews the BMI calculations. Um, but yeah, and to me at least, uh, to me, uh, keeping track of your weight, keeping track of, just moving around, actually doing stuff, just health. That should be people's like number one priority. Like you want to make sure that your future self is uh like you want to make sure that your future self is in good hands or is in good shape, and the way to do that is to focus on yourself now. And I'm still fairly young. I'm in my early 20s. Why do I keep on resetting instead of respawning? um but I'm in my early 20s, so I'm still like got a lot of health to me, but I'm not going to remain that way forever, right? you know, your metabolism will start slowing down. Like my metabolism is going to start slowing down in any year now, right? I have a couple years of high metabolism left until it starts slowing down. Therefore, I'm not breaking down food as well. Therefore, I'm not going to remain skinny or remain thin for super long. And eventually, I'll start putting on more weight. And I want to be ahead of that. I want to sort of remain to where I can easily move around and not struggle to, do basic tasks. Um, I'm, I'm a little short. I'm like 5'6". Um, but I'm not like extremely conscious of my weight. If I was, I'd be doing a lot more exercise. But I am conscious enough to at least do some exercise on a regular routine basis. I'm not on my feet all day like the vast majority of people are. I'm not uh I'm not, constantly doing stuff like most people. And so I have to keep myself active, otherwise eventually I'm going to lose control of myself, and the next thing I know, I've gained 50 pounds, and I don't want to do that. Um, I want to remain, close to my current uh, weight average. I don't want to get like super muscly, um, because that will require a lot more effort than I'll probably put into it realistically, to be honest. Um, but the main thing is like keeping myself at a relatively decent level, and plus, the more I spend time walking around now, the better it's gonna get for when I do get older and I do have less energy and everything like that. Because I'm not a super energetic person to begin with, um, but keeping myself active is one way to make sure that I don't get less and less active as time goes on, because that is one major problem that a lot of blind people have, is that because they're all stuck at home, they can't drive, they can't do a whole lot of stuff. A lot of them end up gaining a lot of weight. Um, all of them also don't, but a lot of them do, and that is a big issue, especially here in the States, where it is so easy to eat just unhealthy crap 24/7. Like, y'all in the rest of the world, you guys can eat relatively unhealthy stuff and be okay with it. But here in America, like, everything's unhealthy. Like, our vegetables have shit in it, our fruits have stuff in it. Um, and it's not like natural stuff, it's all like artificial stuff. You had like, uh, you know, it, like things are just like not they're not good, and there are people trying to like fix this. Um, supposedly, let's see where if they put their money where their mouth is. Um, but yeah, people are trying to push for healthier food for Americans because, especially like here in the States, if somebody here comes over here from outside the U.S. and they eat our food, they why do I keep on this? They will get sick off of our food. Like they have trouble digesting our food. Now, when somebody has trouble digesting your food, that tends to be an issue with the food. But, you know, we don't see American companies fixing their stuff anytime soon, although that could change depending on factors. Like, I'm not gonna try to get wacky, um, because it's all craziness, and I don't wanna become a part of that craziness on either side, to be honest. Because I deal with enough of it in my own under the roof, under my own home. Um, under my own home, in my own home, under my roof. Right? I deal with enough of that, like division. Um, and quite frankly, I think that, well, there is definitely one side that is literally all bark and no bite, and when they do bite, it's like unnecessary. The other side, uh, the other side is like actually doing okay stuff, but at the same time, they're kind of doing some questionable shit. But I mean that's literally how America's been for quite a while now, like much longer than I've been alive for. But still, like the fact that we are so divided, just as a country, just as people, is wild to me. Like, but I think that one side is definitely like a lot more on the common sense, whilst the other side is like they sound like a bunch of crazy people to me, right? And like I said, I'm not here to get political, but looking at it from a neutral perspective, one side, they are doing some questionable things here and there, but for the most part, they're actually doing stuff that's productive. And then you have the other side who decides to bring weapons to peaceful protests in major cities because they don't like the fact that people that did not do their proper paperwork and who have entered another country are being told to leave to get their paperwork done and then they can come back. But no, people don't like being told. People don't like the fact that certain people are being told that they have to leave, and it's like, I'm sorry, but like if I were to go to Japan without any of my paperwork or anything like that, they would first hold me in jail for 28 days. And then while they're doing that, they'll interrogate the ever living shit out of me and then eventually they'll have me sent back home. Right? That is how it would work if I were to do this in Japan. So why is it that here in the States it has to be different? Why is it acceptable there but not here? Right? It's just common sense. If somebody comes here without proper paperwork, then like we don't know what they're here for. We don't know, like we haven't vetted them, and yeah, the vast majority of them are just here to try to live their life and try to live a better life than what they would have done at wherever they came from. But there's a process to this, right? And I know that people trying to get rid of borders altogether, but that's not that really isn't a way to do that. I mean, different countries having borders and things being not quite as open, in my opinion, is a really good thing, because if different places have different rule sets and different people, then that means that those individuals can have a better life and people can be with like-minded people instead of everyone just kind of being in this weird soup and things turning into whatever the hell's going on in Los Angeles. Because yeah, I don't know, like it is wild over there. I won't get into detail, but it is quite the sight. And like that's the thing is like I I don't consider myself like leaning towards either side, but when one side is actually trying to do stuff and actually trying to like, you know, help the people of this country live the next few years versus the other side, which all they're doing is screaming and yelling and causing problems, let's face it, it makes them look like a bunch of clowns or idiots or even worse. I won't use more exact, truthful, and harsh language because, once again, YouTube censorship. But, I mean, it's bad optics, especially when you're neutral. And here's the thing, right? Which side is it that is slashing tires and threatening reporters that, one, aren't on their side, but two, aren't on the other side either? They're neutral, right? They're neutral people, which means they are not part of your opposition, but yet you're slashing their tires because they don't agree with you? They won't agree with the side that is trying to kill government agents? Like, and if that makes me one-sided, then the goalpost has moved. The central goalpost has moved. Imagine a football game, but instead of playing at the 50-50 line, instead, like one side of the field was 20 yards and the other side is 80. It doesn't make sense. Like, if the middle of the field is like if you move an entire freaking football field 50 yards one way, well, that is just like I don't know, right? I really don't know. If you add 50 more yards to a football field, so one side has 50 yards, the other side has 100 yards, Well, the middle of the field is now the 75-yard line instead of the 50-yard line, right? But that's what, I mean, both sides have been doing this, but that's what, especially the left, that's what they've been doing, is that they've been moving their end zone further and further away from the center, which makes the original center line farther and farther away from their goalpost. And so now people who are definitely on the center in the past, right, very far in the past, people that were on the center were closer to the left because at the time, the right was further right and the left was left. And so people in the center were naturally closer in opinion than the people on the left. Then it was kind of like 50-50. Now, especially now, people who were in the center are way closer to the right than the left. But that's just because of how, like, wild politics have been. Like, that's why I'm not directly referring to things. That's why I'm being vague, is because shit's just wild, right? And the people that do political commentary for a living, like, especially people who aren't necessarily supportive of one particular party, it's wild just to me that the amount of stuff that they have to go through because people will go after them, right? I don't understand why people can't have opinions online anymore, right? Like, this is the internet. Like, this is where people go to escape from reality, not the other way around. And the crazy thing is, like, there's a conflict that's been happening between two countries, right? And everyone was saying, "Oh, free these people," right? Right? If like freaking country A and country B are fighting, well, looks like half the freaking U.S. is saying, "Oh, free country B, free country B, free country B," right? Free the people of country B because, random things, right? But then all of a sudden, our president goes out and, brokers a peace deal between country A and country B. Well, obviously, he's not doing it by himself, and he is definitely thanking everyone else who's been helping him with this peace deal. But then now that the people of country B have technically been freed because of this peace deal, all the people that were screaming for peace and for people to be freed, they're now silent because they don't like the president. And so they're not going to thank him for doing what they've been asking for him for 2 fucking years. It baffles me that you guys hate him so much that you won't thank him for doing what you've been screaming for the past 2 years. It is just wild that you won't give him credit just because some news anchor said that he's terrible. And so that's what you believe because you won't hear people out. All you do is hear whatever news media and you run with it. That's your narrative, right? That's your opinion that you formed about this guy because of what people 10 years ago were making rumors about. And here's the thing. People aren't perfect. I'm not saying that Trump is perfect. He's not. There's a lot of things that he has done over the years that I'm not too fond of. But what he's been doing, especially trying to stop with these foreign conflicts, like, you can't just be silent. You can't just ignore the fact that he's been helping people and countries stop fighting. Right? Because the less countries that are fighting, the less people that are dying. and he wants people to stop dying. And I don't know why people, especially people who make it their whole identity to be political on the left and sometimes even on the right, like, why are they so against just the simple fact that he wants people to stop dying? Therefore, he's going to like help broker peace deals and try to resolve conflicts. Like, is it that hard to see? Is it that hard to get behind? Oh, hey, I want people to stop dying for wars that, you know, like, stop fighting other people's battles. And like, you know, he wants peace, and he's making sure that peace is getting done, peace is being made. But all these people who have been clamoring for peace between various countries, they're silent because they won't acknowledge the fact that he is doing what they have been specifically wanting for years now. And it's just wild to me that that's the case. And there's a whole lot of other stuff as well that I don't really feel comfortable getting into, but it's common sense, right? You know, he's not an incredibly likable guy. There's a lot of people that like him. There's a lot of people that don't like him, especially some of my family members. They, you know, I've heard them call him all sorts of names, and it just sickens me at this point. Like, he's not the best person, but he's doing a lot of things right now that benefit the entire world. Why can't you just say thank you? But yeah. Um Anyways, that was my political rant for the year. Um there's been a whole lot of other stuff going on as well, especially with stuff that's happened over the past couple of months, and a lot of it is really depressing to think about, especially some groups' reactions. And you know, it seems to be common sense versus craziness. um I know I don't want to call it like mental illness or anything like that, like a lot of people are calling it, but you know, it seems to be common sense. Like, it's not the left versus the right at this point. It's common sense versus craziness, and that's kind of what it's felt like for the past year now, especially, right? And it takes a lot to make Donald Trump seem like the common sense kind of guy. He says a lot of stupid shit. Like, let's be honest, he says a lot of stupid shit. But when he's the guy who seems like common sense compared to whatever the heck the left is doing, it makes the left look even worse. And it's going to continue getting worse unless they collectively get their act together and start actually, like, talking about things that people in this country actually care about. Like, these people need to stop advertising their, like, their beliefs slash their, like, you know, they need to stop advertising, like, things that the average Walmart American won't give a shit about, right? They need to start focusing on topics that the average Walmart American will care about. Not the crazy redneck that lives in Georgia not the crazy whatever the heck the opposite of a redneck is in Los Angeles. They need to stop doing that on both sides. What they need to start doing is they need to start marketing towards the average American. Now, what that is, I don't quite know. There's different answers, but pretty much everyone in America can agree that the way the Republicans are handling things at the moment is a little bit better than the other side. And that's just, when you make the crazy redneck party seem like the common sense people, things are a little bit twisted. And it really seems like the more that we try to go towards these extremes, the more things get just convoluted, right? And a lot of people, they don't want to be like supportive of the extreme right or the extreme left. Well, really it's the extreme right versus the extreme left when you look at it just by a normal graph, but the center is actually much closer to the right than the left. But that's just the left is so extreme. Like, you have the extreme left, and then you have the not so extreme, but still kind of pretty far out there right. And, right now, when you have one party where, yeah, they're not doing everything that, there's a lot of things that people are not liking them for at the moment. There's a lot of things they're doing which I don't, there's a few things they're doing which I'm not a huge fan of, and I won't get into that. But, there are some things that I am not too fond of that they are doing. But that list of things is a lot smaller than the entire filing cabinet of things that I can get on the other side for. And that's the issue, is that yes, the current administration isn't handling things quite the way they should. There are some things that they are handling a little bit poorly, but when the alternative is just whatever the heck was going on last year, it does make sense why things turn out the way they have, and why things are continuing to turn out the way they are, right? When things seem like common sense versus absolute lunacy, people are going to choose common sense. People who are on the fence are going to choose what they think is the common sense opinion. And right now, the average Walmart American is siding with the right instead of the left. And if the left wants to win the midterms or win 2028, they're going to have to rethink their strategy. They're going to have to completely not only reorganize and restructure, but they're going to have to rethink their 2028 campaign. They're going to have to rethink how, like, what they're going to be fighting for, what they're going to be campaigning for, like, how they're going to do everything, because people do not want to be involved, and they do not want to have their name attached to the current party that is Democratic Party. People are afraid to be Democrats. People are not afraid to be Republicans. Like, when you see commercials and you see that, oh, this mayor is a proud conservative, this governor is a proud conservative, you don't hear anyone that says they're a proud liberal. or a proud progressive or a proud Democrat, and that's saying something. Like people are afraid to call themselves Democrats in public, but people are not afraid to call themselves Republicans in public, and I wonder why. Like, why are people afraid to be called Democrat? Like, why are people afraid to, be a Democrat in public? And people might say, well, it's because of a scare tactic from the right, or it's because of this, it's because of that. And the answer is no, it's not that. It's just a lack of confidence. Right now, people do not want to be attached to a party that is actively calling for violence against the other side for practically no reason other than the fact they do not like the fact that people who came here illegally are being deported. And, like, that people are enforcing the law, right? They don't like the fact that the law of this country is being enforced by this country's government. And it's wild, the stuff I've heard friends and family members say that I've had to correct them on, because I'm an adult now. I have to keep an eye on this, right? It does affect me in small ways, but yeah, it does affect. Obviously, I'm having a rant about this on a stream when I should be talking about the future of my channel, but it's just, it boggles the mind how wild it seems. My entire generation has already toppled 2 governments, which I think is just weird. Right, Nepal and Madagascar, right? And those governments are like the governments of Nepal and Madagascar were way, way more corrupt than even what the American government is nowadays, or in 2024, I should say. Like, and it really does seem like there's a huge shift in the entire world where my generation is being pushed away from the left, which just so happens to be towards the right. Right, they're not being pulled to the right, they're being pushed from the left because of the things that people who are openly calling themselves liberals or Democrats are doing. The things that people are attaching to that name is, in my opinion, disgusting. Right? It is just sheer disgusting what some of these people are doing, what some of these individuals are doing, but yet they're claiming is because they're Democrats, or it's for Democrats, or for liberals. And when you attach your party name like that, it makes the party itself look bad. Not just you, but also, what you endorse. And this is why so many people who are not Democrats, or who are not liberals, I should say, this is why they just do not want anything on the left anymore. They don't want to hear it. They've heard enough of the craziness. They don't want any more of the craziness. They want it gone. And quite frankly, I do too. It's just wild to me, the type of shit that you hear about all the time coming from everywhere. And it's these people who, they say the most out of pocket shit that isn't even true, but they say it like it was like the founding commandments of how this world operates. Like, I had to correct someone a few weeks ago out in public because they thought that it was like some random law or something like that. But like they thought that something was like unconstitutional, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that specifically was brought up somewhere, and it's like right there, like that is the definition of a constitutional law. And I remember like pulling that specific part up on my phone and showing it to them, and they wouldn't believe me. They were like, that's a lie. And I'm like, that's the actual Constitution. I do not know what to tell you. But these people, like, and I'm not saying it's Democrats, because there's a difference between Democrat and crazy liberal. Like, but these crazies, they have a completely warped perception on what our Constitution says. Like, you can just research, you can just search it up and read it. You can read the entire Constitution, you can read our laws, but people don't. They just assume that a certain law says something, and that's how it is. Like, people are saying that about differing, like, texts. Like, there's this big thing that was going on for, Islam, and, like, a lot of people are, like, trying to support Islam, but then, like, they have a completely, and I mean a completely different idea of what Islam means compared to what it actually means. And that's just wild that these people have such a warped perception of laws and religions and all this, and they preach it like it's the truth, but it's not. And that's what gets me. Like, that's what makes these people look like absolute idiots, is because they're spouting nonsense, and they either don't know it, or they do know it and they're just trying to trick people. And that's what's wild to me, is like people don't do their research. People don't form their opinions based on logic. They form their opinions based off of what they see and what they hear off of social media or the news. And the news sometimes doesn't tell the truth. And, like, technically they're allowed to get away with this, but, like, at the same time, these various news stations have basically like an unofficial, like a, like an unwritten rule that they need to be truthful. They need to be like legitimate. And if these like news anchors especially are spouting complete nonsense, what does that, and they're literally like the face of the news station, like what does that say for the entire news station? That makes the entire news station look completely nonsensical. And to me, that's like, that right there is like why a lot of people would rather trust some random dude with a podcast microphone versus a fully operational news station. Like, people would rather go on the internet and watch a podcast about a guy who doesn't want to stop talking about bears for some reason versus an actual high budget news station. Like, these news stations are just now figuring out the power of the internet, the power of social media, the power of just talking and being truthful and just speaking out your opinion. and just how far-reaching various individuals can be on their own. And that's the crazy thing is that, in the past, if you wanted to hear news and information, which news stood for national events, weather, and sports. NEWS. National events, weather, and sports. And so now most people get their weather content from independent sources or applications, so not from legacy media. Most people, when they still watch sports on legacy media just because of how sports are, but if they watch content about sports, most likely it's from a YouTuber. Like, it's from a YouTuber who saw the races, like, analyzing it. Like, for example, for, like, NASCAR, people will watch the Iceberg, people will watch LE Productions, people will watch Out of the Groove or Aaron Estep, like, or people will watch Michael Mertz, people will watch, like, other stuff. For IndyCar, it's I forget what his name is, like a freaking PL, I think it is, or LP. I know people are not tuning into the Fox app to get their fix of NASCAR information. People are watching YouTube, and the YouTubers, not Fox's YouTube channel. The same thing goes for like IndyCar and probably Formula One as well. That's more of a global thing and not an America thing, so I'm not too certain on that. But like, especially for like, like for weather, a lot of people get their information not from news sources, but from independent people like Reed Timmer or Ryan Hall. People, well, especially Reed Timmer. Reed Timmer used to do a lot of stuff for especially news stations, but now he live streams to YouTube when he does storm chasing. Like, imagine, right, 5 years ago, if you wanted to know the whereabouts of a storm that the news is talking about, you'd have to watch the news station, and sure, they might have, like, the map on their screen, all that. But it's, looking at a storm on a map can be difficult to, like, pay attention to, or like just to figure it out. But then you have, they might have like a storm tracer view, but they're not always focused on that. Like, they're like, and sometimes they'll pronounce tiny, but when you see like the freaking red, yellow, green blob on the map, it's just a blob on the map. It's, it doesn't really mean anything until you get like an actual mental image or like a physical image of what the storm is doing and like the actual location. Like, when you get boots on the ground, that's when people are able to actually see and analyze, oh, this is an actual storm. I need to like take precautions and do some shelter and stuff. And that's what like Reed Timmer is doing. That's what Ryan Hall is doing. Like, Ryan Hall, he has like, that's like every single frame has live, not pre-recorded, live storm chaser footage from usually multiple locations from either a one big storm or multiple small storms. Right? It's not just a TV station that occasionally pulls to their one guy on the ground. It's one person who, yeah, he's got the map up to show the warning boxes and stuff, but it's also got the people on the ground that are actually like showing off more accurate information than what the radars were telling, because they're not entirely accurate, and they will almost never be. But if people can see with their own eyes, even through a screen, just what the storm is doing on a like second by second basis, they tend to be better at being proactive instead of reactive. And there's a lot of people nowadays where they probably don't have like a TV like network thing hooked up, so they don't have news stations that they can just tune into and watch. So their main form of information gathering is the internet, or your only form. And so these people, they don't watch legacy media. All they watch is like YouTube or TikTok or whatever. And so that's why legacy media is sort of dying out, is because it's being replaced by people who are actually like better at better at showcasing this content. And to a certain extent, it's not the fault of legacy media. It's just people have changed and people want more on-demand content, things that legacy media just can't provide just because they can't move that fast. But independent creators, or like small independent groups, are able to pull things off at a much more rapid pace because that's their entire philosophy. And these legacy medias, they move really slowly, or they'll talk about stuff. And here's the thing, right? People do not want to hear about another person who decided that it was a good idea to turn their gas station into a target practice range, right? People do not want to hear about last night's shooting, right? They don't want to hear about last night's random conflict. They're tired of hearing about people shooting each other. Yes, it is something that needs to be talked about, but it's all the legacy media talks about. It's all local news stations talk about. Is, you know, oh, this person's arrested for this person's arrested for this, especially in like, you know, bigger city areas, right? Or medium-sized city areas. And people don't want to hear that. They know what's happening. They don't want to know. They don't want to know the details. They know it happens. It happens everywhere. But they want to hear like more important information to them specifically, whether that is the weather or whether it's going to be like events and stuff. Not just who shot who. Yes, it is sad that people keep on dying for no reason. But on the same token, people want to know like what's going on in this besides just someone got shot again. And for the most part, when it comes to like modern media, people don't talk about just local shootings. You know, they might talk about one if it's like a big profile thing, or if it's like a crazy thing. But like, for the most part, right? You know, modern media is actually better about talking about stuff. Plus, if you want to know about, you know, the local gossip, then you can pull up someone that specializes in that. Traditional news media, they have to be more generalist. But then you can get people who hyperfixate. You can get people who apply their specific flavor of autism to do some crazy shenanigans, right? It's wild to me how free the internet is in terms of like creativity, like in terms of niches. Like, you know, for example, there's a guy out there that does like he loves root beer. So he makes YouTube videos like how 13-year-old me would make YouTube videos. And he's like, root beer, root beer, root beer. And he does like all sorts of stuff. Like I saw one clip of him, and it was him like seeing like what would float. Like how many root beer cans could like various little like bathtub / pool toys could like hold. Those little boat things, and it was cool. Like that's like, that's like, here's your hyperfixation for the day is like, you know, boats and root beer and stuff, and that's so cool that type of thing would never be on television, but here it is on YouTube Shorts, right? And that's the cool thing about the internet, is that people can express themselves in whatever way they want. People could use their autism, which for the longest time has been seen as a disability, but they could use that, and I don't know if this guy's autistic, by the way, I'm just using this as an example of how creative the internet can be. What I'm saying is like, don't mix it up. I'm not saying this guy specifically is autistic, although, if he is, then more power to him. But what I am saying is that in terms of like, people are able to use their like hyperfixations, which often are like, that's an side effect of autism, is like hyperfixating on the most random things. People can use that. I mean, heck, I saw this one video, I think it was last night, last night being over 24 hours ago at this point for me, because I'm still awake. But like, I saw a video a couple days ago of this one guy who just so happened to be in a Walmart during a tornado warning and subsequent power outage, and he was filming inside the Walmart, watching all the emergency lights and exit signs, because that's his flavor of autism, is looking at those type of things. And in my opinion, that's really cool, because it shows, one, the cool technology behind these like security systems, like the emergency lighting and the signs, because you don't usually see those in action in that sort of scenario under normal circumstances. But also, two, it shows his enthusiasm over something that's only designed to work in emergencies, and is currently working in an emergency, and he's just over here having, the time of his life about it, whilst everyone else does not really worry too much about the tornado warning. I mean, that's just kind of how things are in Tornado and Dixie Alleys. But when it comes to people being able to hyperfixate on topics, they'll get views because it's unique content. Like, this is why I don't call it weaponized autism, but instead applied autism, because that's what it is. Like, people apply their hyperfixations, record it, upload it to YouTube, and then like it becomes it becomes really cool and unique and interesting content because of just how random it is. And that's the cool thing, is I love the fact that people are able to turn a disability into essentially a weird niche advantage in like some form of and that's what the internet does, is like, people who are disabled in the normal circumstance, like people who are just physically disabled, or in some cases even mentally disabled, they're able to use that as an advantage, and I think that's the crazy thing. The internet is now the second great equalizer. Um, the first being uh, weapons, but I'm not going to go into that. Um, but people like me who are visually impaired, they could technically make a living on the internet. They can do whatever. Because you can make your own combinations at home for like your computer and your phone, and then you could just be able to use those combinations to mitigate most of the drawbacks you deal with. And people that have more life-altering disabilities that they have to deal with. I mean, I cannot tell you how many people that who I've seen on YouTube Shorts that are missing an arm or a leg, or sometimes even both. And just seeing how these people live their lives on a day-to-day basis is the coolest thing to me. Because it's like, oh, that's how that works. Oh, that's cool. But also, like, more power to you. More power to you. And it's just, like, there was this guy who has, like, nubs instead of hands. And he's, like, he, like, taps on different boxes and stuff. And he, like, tries a whole bunch of different foods. And just seeing him open, like, various, like, packaging from these places, it's just the craziest thing. Because it's like, it's morbid curiosity. Like, you want to know, how does somebody who doesn't have fingers, like, deal with, like opening up a quarter pounder box from McDonald's or whatever, right? And just seeing that kind of, like, accessibility / like disability thing is the most interesting thing on YouTube, or just in general when it comes to the internet. And I think that's what the internet has enabled. It's enabled windows into various people's lives who just aren't normal in some way, and allows other disabled people to, like, feel to feel heard, but also non-disabled people to better understand. That doesn't make sense. Like, allows them to have a deeper or more advanced, or just a better understanding in general of what living with a disability is like, or just being disabled in general. Because a lot of people who, they're perfectly able-bodied people, but they know nothing about living with a disability. They don't know nothing about being disabled, other than the fact that it hampers your living in some sort of way. But there's all these people that they have no idea how it is, but yet now they're able to watch some guy who's disabled, who, has, like, one finger instead of, like, hands, open up boxes or mess with the game controllers or just do whatever. And they're like, this is the coolest thing ever. Or, seeing blind people navigate America's road and sidewalk systems, seeing people with guide dogs, or people with, like, people with a missing leg, people with, like, a missing arm, just people who are different, able to use that for content and be able to turn their disability into into something good. And in my opinion, that's what a lot of us disabled people, that's what we have in common, is that we're able to not just see our disability as a bad thing, but we already know our own workarounds, because most of us make our own workarounds, or for lesser disabilities, especially someone like me who's just slightly visually impaired, we make it practically a non-issue. And most of us are able to laugh at our disability because that's just, it's just normal for us. Like, that's why I say I'm okay with blind jokes as long as they're good and funny, because I've been blind my entire life. So to me, it's normal, right? I'm used to hearing the blind jokes. I'm used to this, but, if someone's just joking around just to joke around, it's not that funny. But if someone actually makes an awesome comment or something that I like, then yeah, they're gonna, you know, I'm gonna laugh at it because it's a good, thoughtful joke. But I'm not gonna get like offended because somebody's called me Four Eyes, and I don't need somebody to get offended on my behalf. You know, and like that's the wild thing to me is that people assume that other people can't take a joke and will get offended on their behalf. And it's just why? Just let people take a joke. I completely blanked out on what I was saying. Um, ow. Oh yeah. So the future of my channel. So I'm gonna return to active. Can I English today, please? I'm gonna return to active streaming. Probably in about a week or two. Um, I will try to stream every weekday at least. No promises though. I gotta finish my Terraria playthrough with my friends first. What message is this? Okay. I don't know why. Um, I love getting spam messages, and it's just like, what do you mean, lose my solar rights? Cool. I love getting the ones that say I have car insurance, and I'm like, bro, I'm visually impaired. I don't have a car. I don't have a driver's license. I don't own a vehicle. I ain't paying you a single penny. Penny? I try to mix up cent and penny. I am like dead tired. But yeah, my plan. I want to do. I think I want to do 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Central Time. Maybe 10 to 3 if I feel like it. Like I'll do 10 to 2, like 4-hour streams, but then um like after that it'll be like if I feel like it even more cuz yeah, as of right now it's kind of it is definitely all over the place when it comes to just, you know, my sort of schedules. But yeah, 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. I feel like would be an interesting like time slot. Like earliest I will start is 10 p.m. latest out industry. Um, and I think that's like reasonable. Um, like I don't see why that can't be done. Um, Now how many days a week I want to stream? I don't know. I think my current plan will be to stream 3 days a week. Um, but which 3 days I'll have to see whether it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Um, so I'm probably not gonna do streaming on Sundays. It's not a religious thing. It's just Sunday's my lazy day, and I'm probably not gonna be doing much on Sundays. So I don't want to like stream on Sundays. Um, but when it comes to every other day of the week, that's perfectly fine. Um, like I said, it's gonna take me some time to one fix up my sleep schedule, but also just for things to calm down. Um, I think as time goes on, I think everything's just kind of getting a little bit more settled, and eventually I'll be returning to streaming. Um, I think what I want to do is probably do like a Minecraft. Well, maybe not Minecraft. I don't know. Um, so I accidentally participated in um a boycott for streaming. Um, a lot of people were boycotting anything Microsoft made for a while, especially Minecraft, um, because of something that somebody related to Microsoft did or something. I did not read into the full story. It's just boycotts are fucking stupid. I understand why people do them, but they don't work. They only work if more than 0.1% of people do it. Like, here's the thing. If a million people don't watch YouTube for a day, there's still well over 2 billion daily visits to the site. It is less than 0.05% of the platform. It's not even noticeable. Not even noticeable. Bigger dips happen for other reasons. Just because somebody uploads for some reason or somebody doesn't upload for some reason. Like, it's literally like you wouldn't notice it unless somebody pointed it out. Like, their day-to-day traffic fluctuates more than what that particular protest could do. And so for the vast majority of things, especially for big companies, protests just or not protests, boycotts just don't work like people think they do. And so, yeah. I mean, maybe this Microsoft protest for some reason worked. I don't know. All I know is that people were not doing Minecraft stuff for a while, and it was kind of making me sad because Minecraft is one of my favorite games, and yeah. But yeah, I plan on a lot of stuff actually. Um, but the big thing I plan on doing is I plan on doing Obviously, more cross-world stuff. Maybe next event or something like that. I'll do a lot of streaming for. Um, but I'm thinking of doing a long-term survival world on Java Edition, I think. Um, and I might also do something for Terraria as well. I might start like a long-term survival world for both Minecraft and Terraria, but I want to wait. So for Terraria, I want to wait till the new update drops, the 1.4.5 update. Um, Now, the next state of the game for Terraria is not going to happen for another week or two. Um, it's Thursday the 16th now. So they won't drop another update till the 30th. So literally the day before Halloween. But um yeah, hopefully we'll get like a more narrowed release window than just eh. Game development takes a long time, and they are making sure that this update is the best Terraria 1.4.5 it could be, and I fully applaud that. But I really want this update because the sooner I get this Terraria update, the sooner they can start working on cross-platform, and the sooner I can stop having to rely on using my phone's mobile hotspot to connect my Xbox to a Terraria world because it uses peer-to-peer connection, and for some reason you cannot change the MTP settings on an Xbox. So, yeah, that is that. Sorry, I just accidentally sat my phone on a spoon. But yeah, I am super tired. I am literally like my eyelids are trying to shut on their own at the moment. I am going to end stream, probably hit the hay, or definitely hit the hay for a bit. Uh, I'll set an alarm on my phone for a few hours from now because I need to not sleep until 6 in the evening. Instead, I need to sleep until probably like 1 or 2. But yeah, I'll try to do that. Anyways, I will see you guys sometime soon. Other than that, I will be ending. Later.